Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi everyone, I hope you don't be bored to meet me again. This time I wanna tell you about an explanation text as well as given an example. So that you know in full, watch in until the end. Before that, maybe there are still those who don't know what an explanation text. Okay, what is explanation text? Explanation text is one type of text in English that describes a process. Talking about the process, this text is almost the same as procedure text. However, if procedure text describes how to do something or process, while text explanation how a process occurs. That's why we can know that explanation text serves to provide information through a detailed explanation of a phenomenon that occurs. Next, we will discuss the structure of explanation text. Number 1 is title. For title, with this type of text, you don't need to beat around the bush. You only need to provide a title that matches the content of the article, such as what caused a tsunami. Number 2 is opening statement. The purpose of writing with the type of explanation text, of course, is to provide full information and fact for the readers. Therefore, you really need to include a strong opening statement in writing, and if you can, you must include a evidence such as journals or articles that have been verified. In the opening statement, you can also write down the identification open process to explain. Focus on process of phenomenon that you want to explain and avoid too much to include the small things involved in phenomenon. Number 3 is sequencing. In creating an article, write in the form of short paragraphs and divide into several parts. Do not let the reader dizzy to read paragraphs that are too long. Also use the relationship by inserting the cause and effect of a phenomenon or event. Number 4 is conclusion. If everything has been discussed, don't forget to write a conclusion or conclusion from the information you provide. And the last is visual. In explain a process, usually you will need visuals such as pictures, photos, diagram, and so on to clarify the content of writing. You can also insert the videos to make your writing more information. Then we will discuss the characteristic of an explanation text. So that you are not confused, there are some special characteristics of explanation text that distinguish it from other types of writing. Because this type of writing discusses fact, the tense used is the simple present tense. Use of action verbs, which are verbs used to describe an action that is taking place. For example, do, make, create, and so on. Writing in this type of text use passive voice, which aims to emphasize the focus on the happenings rather than the subject. Using technical terms, which are technical terms that are in accordance with the contents of the writings discussed. Using chronological conjunction such as next, first, and then, and others. Now lastly, I will give a brief example of an explanation text, which is about a lunar eclipse. Lunar eclipses are one of the natural phenomena that often occurs. It is not surprising that we often encounter this phenomenon. A lunar eclipse can occur while the moon and sun are in the same position, so that the sunrise that should reach the earth are blocked by the moon. This causes the earth to be dark for some time. Even so, the position of the moon and sun will not always result in an eclipse. Why is that? Due to the tilt of the moon's orbit and the ecliptics, which cause the intersection between the two, which is called a node. So your lunar eclipse will occur when the moon is positioned with a line cut, or what is called a node point. It takes at least 29 days to 30 days for the moon to move from one point to another. Lunar eclipses that occur in fact are not always invisible, because in some cases the moon is still visible. This happens because the sun's rays are still lit, which causes the rays to be turned toward the moon by the atmosphere. The reflected light from the atmosphere usually has a reddish color that causes the moon to appear dark red during a solar eclipse. We can observe the lunar eclipse direct with the naked eye. This will not harm us although. A lunar eclipse occurs when part or all of the Earth's shadow covers the appearance of the moon, especially if the position of the Earth is between the moon and the sun, so that sunlight cannot reach the moon because it is blocked by the Earth. Okay, maybe for the summary, you can see the following these videos.
The chill after dark, ooh, when you took my heart, that's when we fell apart, 'cause we both thought that love lasts forever. See, it's very divine, you're one of a kind, but you mash up my mind, you are thinking decline, oh love, my baby is driving me crazy. You're way too beautiful.
Okay guys, thank you for you the watching these videos until the end. I think enough. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.